Vanajaya Rasikacharya Dasa Ananta Goti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 38, Text 27 and 28. 27 doesn't have any purport, but it is written on the board, so we chant this one. Yo naradat atma vidyam.
Yo naradat atma vidyam.
Yo naradat atma vidyam.
Yo naradat atma vidyam.
Adigamya punarmahim.
Adigamya punarmahim.
Adigamya punarmahim.
Adigamya punarmahim.
Bhuktva vibhajya putrebhya.
Bhuktva vibhajya putrebhya.
Bhuktva vibhajya putrebhya.
Bhuktva vibhajya putrebhya.
Aishvaram samagat padam.
Aishvaram samagat padam.
Aishvaram samagat padam.
Aishvaram samagat padam.
Yo naradadatma vidyam.
Yo naradatma vidyam.
Adigamya punarmahim.
Adigamya punarmahim.
Bhuktva vibhajya putrebhya.
Bhuktva vibhajya putrebhya.
Aishvaram samagat padam.
Aishvaram samagat padam.
Yo naradadatma vidyam.
Yo naradatma vidyam.
Adigamya punarmahim.
Adigamya punarmahim.
Bhuktva vibhajya putrebhya Aishvaram samagat padam. Please recite.
Yo naradatatma vidyam abhigamya punarmahim bhuktva vibhagya putrebhya Aishvaram samagat padam
Yo naradat atma vidam
Yo naradatatma vidyam
Adhigamya punarmahim
Adhigamya punarmahim
Uktva vipachya putrebhya
Bhuktva vibhagya putrebhya
Aishvaram samagat padam
Aishvaram samagat padam
Vaishnavis.
Yo naradatatma vidyam Adhigamya punarmahim Bhuktva vibhagya putrebhya Aishvaram samagat padam Yo naradatatma vidyam Adhigamya punarmahim Bhuktva vibhagya putrebhya Aishvaram samagat padam Yo naradatatma vidyam Adhigamya punarmahim Bhuktva vibhagya putrebhya Aishvaram samagat padam
Yaha,
Yaha
one who, Naradat, from the great sage Narada, Atma Vidyam, spiritual knowledge, Adhigamya, after learning, Punaha, again, Mahim, the earth, Bhuktva, after enjoying, Vibhajya, after dividing, Putrebhyaha, unto his sons, Aishvaram, transcendental, Samagat, achieved, Padam, position. Translation. Although Maharaj Priyavrata received instructions from the great sage Narada, he still engaged in ruling the earth. After fully enjoying material possessions, he divided his property among his sons. He then attained a position by which he could return home back to Godhead. Text 28. Imam tukasharavinno pavarnitam kshata nishamya chita vadasatkatam pravritta bhavo shrukala kulo muner dadhara mudna charanam rida hare. Translation. My dear King, in this way, after hearing the transcendental messages of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees from the great sage Maitreya, Vidura was overwhelmed with ecstasy. With tears in his eyes, he immediately fell down at the lotus feet of his guru, his spiritual master. He then fixed the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of his heart. Purport. This is a sign of associating with great devotees. A devotee takes instructions from a liberated soul and is thus overwhelmed by ecstasy from transcendental pleasure. As stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Naisha Matista Vaduru Kramanangri. I don't find the meter. Naisha Matista Vaduru Kramangrim Sprishati Anarta Pagamo Yatarta Mahiya Sampada Rajo Pishekam Niskinjananam Na Vrinitayavat. Bhagavatam 7.5.32. One cannot become a perfect devotee of the Lord without having touched the lotus feet of a great devotee. One who has nothing to do with this material world is called Niskinchana. The process of self-realization and the path home, back to Godhead, means surrendering to the bona fide spiritual master and taking the dust of his lotus feet on one's head. Thus one advances on the path of transcendental realization. Vidura had this relationship with Maitreya, and he attained the results. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavanishvari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Although Maharaj Priyavrata received instructions from the great sage Narada, he still engaged in ruling the earth. After fully enjoying material possessions, he divided his property among his sons. He then attained the position by which he could return home back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Thank you for inviting me speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam. Please give me your blessings so that I may say something useful for everyone. We are approaching the end of the 4th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. 3 more verses left. And the whole 4th canto, we can say, is about Maharaj Uttanapada, who was the son of Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu had 2 sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapada. Although Priyavrata is the older son, but he was engaged in tapasya since childhood. So Uttanapada took the responsibility to rule the universe. I mean, not only the earth, the universe. So you have to be specially empowered to do such a job. And the whole 4th canto was about the descendants of Uttanapada. We heard about Dhruva Maharaj. We heard about Prithu Maharaj. We heard about Prachina Bodhisat and the Prachetas. And after the Prachetas, there was no suitable king anymore who could take the task to rule the universe. So, what to do? Priyavrata was in, what was that place? Gandhamadan, the mountains, to perform meditation. And Swayambhuva Manu knew he was the only one who could take over the task to rule the universe. So he went to Gandhamadan, where Priyavrata Maharaj Priyavrata performed his meditations and tapasya. And he asked him to please take the task to rule the universe, because he was the only one qualified for that. Both of them, like Uttanapada and Priyavrata, were Shakti Avaishavatas. They were specially empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to do this task. And now, coming to the 5th canto, we hear about the descendants of Priyavrata Maharaj, where, for example, Rishabdev was himself the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and many others, many more, Bharat Maharaj, and so on. So, and Priyavrata wasn't interested in taking the task to be the king, to marry, to beget children, to rule the universe. So he was refusing. And so Brahma himself, his grandfather, came down on his swan carrier to convince Priyavrata to take the task. I mean, we can imagine how important this was for the continuation of the 12 Mahajans. 4 were present there, like Swayambhuva Manu, Brahma himself, Shiva, and Narada Muni. And when Brahma asked Priyavrata to please perform this task, take on the responsibility, immediately he said yes, because he knew this is the way. We have to follow authorities, although also Swayambhuva Manu was his authority, but well. So he took on the task to be the ruler. And he was the ruler for, it is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, for 11 Adbhutas. That means one Adbhuta is 100 million years from our calculation. So that means it's beyond our capacity to understand how long. And most of the Manus came from Priyavrata. And we have to understand, when we read this verse, when we hear about how he was fully enjoying material possessions in ruling the earth, we have to understand that Priyavrata was a pure soul. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. He didn't have any interest in enjoying his senses, but he performed his task. It's not like Priyavrata said, okay, I will do it, and then he do a lousy job. No. He performed his task perfectly. Neither his wife nor his children realized how detached he was. So, I mean, that takes expertise to be married and not to be attached at all, but to make the wife happy, the children happy, everybody happy, so that nobody realized how detached you actually were. So that's why it is said here, he attained a position by which he could return home back to Godhead. So he went back home, back to Godhead, because he did a perfect job. Yes. So this doesn't come just from playing a rule or something. Same with Vidura in the second verse we read today. He was hearing from Maitreya Muni. Vidura was the brother of Dhritarashtra and Pandu. And he knew the Kurukshetra war will come. So he went on pilgrimage. And he met Maitreya Muni and took instructions from him. And he was as we read in this verse, he was overwhelmed with ecstasy when he heard about the Supreme Personality of Godhead from Maitreya Muni. He fell down at the lotus feet of his guru, and fixed completely the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of his heart. So this is possible if we perform our duty with great strength, determination. We have these 4 words like satsang, sadhana, sadachar, and seva. We heard in the purport that this is a sign of association with great devotees. So satsang, the association with great devotees, is essential, because the qualities with those who we associate will come to us. It is said that you will get the qualities of the 5 people you associate the most. And if you associate with pure devotees, these qualities, like to be humble, to be determined, to be like to have a beautiful character, these will become our own qualities. And then it is essential that we have a very strong sadhana. And how comes that we have a very strong sadhana? From the determination that we know the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the only one who can actually save us from being degraded from Maya, from material nature. We have to be fully aware that each one of us is at war. We have declared war to Maya. And that means we have to fight vigorously. And first of all, we have to fight against our own Atma. Why? In our Atma is the tendency of anarthas, of upadhis, so many unwanted things we have to avoid, distractions, so many things which keep us away from performing our sadhana, from being fully engaged. So this war is essential. When we come out from the temple, when we go outside, we can see, this is another battlefield. This is the battlefield of society, to fight against godlessness, because everybody is trying to convince us how God is not part of the picture. But this is another fight. First of all, we have to fight against these tendencies of anarthas constantly. every moment anatas are trying to overwhelm us. Distractions is trying to overwhelm us. And upadhis to be what we are not. Brahmanas are fighting ignorance. We have to know each varna is fighting. Like Shudras are fighting indolence. The battle against laziness. Vaishyas are fighting insufficiency. They are fighting that the stomach is always filled. We have all the necessities of life we need. Kshatriyas fight injustice. So many injustices happen in this world. And Brahmanas are fighting ignorance. So this is by far the most important and intense battle, the war against ignorance. Because this is what surrounds us. Whatever we see, whatever we touch, is made out of ignorance. So we have to become fully aware. We are spirit soul. We are not part of this material world. Our home is somewhere else. We are part of a parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And the more we become aware of this fact, the more we engage. We have to select a time where we perform our chanting, our reading, and it would be nice if it's always the same time in the day. Our daily sadhana. And this actually become like a second nature, which will be performed happily, not as a burden, but with determination, because this is sattva guna. We have these different connections like sattva guna, rajaguna, tamaguna. And first of all, we have to come out of the lower modes to live in sattva guna. Sattva guna is the platform from where we have to transcend, because even sattva guna is material, is plafoniert. So only if we become peaceful inside, we are not constantly distracted from the outer world. This is so essential. Without peace, Krishna says it in the Bhagavad Gita, there is no chance for happiness or anything else, spiritual life. You cannot practice spiritual life without inner peace. Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadarao. Jai Shri Nitai. So this peaceful state of mind is desired. And because actually the mind is in sattva guna. It is his nature to be sattva, to be sattvic. So only if we are with the mind, with the nature of the mind, this will be a stepping stone to become determined and to perform our tasks with, pleasure. Because we know this is the right thing to do and we just do it. It's not, should I do it, shouldn't I, am I in a proper mood today, or am I not feeling so well, so I cannot do my sadhana, I cannot do this, I cannot not do that. No, this is just secondary. This is just not a criteria. If we are convinced this is the right thing, we just do it. Point. Nothing else. So we read about Vidura, we read about the Prachetas, the same thing. They went back home to Godhead. They were like this. We read about Priyavrata. All these great kings, all these great personalities, they knew this is the right thing and there is nothing else to do in life. So this is very, very essential. Because in this material world, everything is degrading at every moment. Quality of everything is degrading. The purity is degrading. Our lifespan is degrading. Our memory is degrading. Everything is degrading. Do you know what is a Shrutidar?
Somebody who can remember everything that he heard.
Yes, there is this competition. Like if you remember 50 questions or 60 questions, 80 questions, and the Shrutidar is one who remembers 100 questions. That means he stays in an assembly with 100 people. They are sitting here. Each one of them is posing a question to the person. That means 100 questions. And the Shrutidar can answer after all the questions were posed. The Shrutidar is answering the question in the same manner as they were asked. Even if one asks here, the one there, doesn't matter. He just asks them one after the other. He gives the response. And after these 100, and during all that time, there is a clock, banging. So after answering all these 100 questions, he can say how many times the clock rang. I mean, that takes memory. This is gone. This is gone. We even don't remember what we did yesterday, what we ate yesterday, and stuff like that. So everything is degrading. And if there is not a force pushing up, it's like gravity. The gravity always goes down. Everything goes down. So we have to try to push up quality, memory, lifespan, purity, especially purity. Otherwise, everything go down. As soon as we stop trying, pushing up, everything is lost, will be lost. Because the tendency of this material world is everything is diminishing. Everything is going down. So, yes, if we want to have a result like it is written in the Srimad Bhagavatam, like we read about every day, we have to fight. It's an inner battle. We are not going out with swords and something and stuff like that. No, but we fight against ignorance. We try to fight against distraction, against these varnas, against these, whatever. And only like this we can make a field from which we are able to perform devotional service. There are many more things, but this is something which we have to perform in every moment, each and every moment. So, if we read like Vidura, there is nothing else in his life than the Supreme. And all these qualities will be a part of us, we become our second nature. We love the Supreme Personality. It's like Krishna says, do whatever you do out of duty. And this is the first step. But how can we act according to duty? It's not really. It's just duty. But we can act out of love for eternity. So this duty, this knowing, it is the right thing. We just do it because we know it's the right thing. Slowly, slowly will turn into love. Because you only think of it. You know? You're not distracted by anything else. Because you know the value of spiritual life. You know the value of being a part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And you know the temporarity of whatever is here in this material world. It is not what we are searching for, to be temporarily happy. Of course, there is happiness in this material world, but it is temporary, and it's leading to suffering. It is leading to frustration. Our soul is actually searching for something else. Yes. It is very interesting to read about all these dynasties, you know, how this whole fourth canto is about all the descendants of Uttanapada. I think in 1976, Srila Prabhupada was speaking the purports for the 8th canto. And in the 8th canto there is the story of Gajendra. Gajendra is an elephant on the heavenly planets, very strong elephant, not like our Kali Yuga elephants here, small Kali Yuga elephants. In other ages, they were much bigger, and especially on the heavenly planets, these elephants were giants. So Gajendra, he was bathing peacefully with his wives in a lake, and suddenly there was a crocodile biting in his legs, and he was trying to defend himself, but he couldn't get rid of the crocodile's bite. He couldn't get rid. And so they were fighting for thousands of years. And because Gajendra was not in his natural environment, he was in the water, he didn't get food, he didn't get peace of mind. So all his strength was diminishing. And in the contrary, the crocodile, because he was in his element, in the water, he got food, so he was strengthened himself more and more. So Srila Prabhupada was in that time, he was very much engaged in managerial affairs, so many troubles like with Juhu land and the buildings of like Mayapur temple and Vrindavan, all that. And it takes you have to meditate upon these purports and how to make an event which was millions and millions of years back between two animals in the heavenly planets, how to make it accessible for the people of the Kali Yuga, the people right now. Because this crocodile is compared with Maya and the grip that Maya has on us. So if we are not in our natural position, if we are not in our good shape to fight this crocodile, we will lose. Maya will take us over, for sure, 100%. So we have to be aware not to be in a wrong environment where we strengthen Maya. We have to become strong ourselves. So that means, Sattva Guna, having good association, having a good sadhana, and then we will strengthen our mental health. So this is very significant, how, and for sure if Vishnu didn't kill the crocodile, he would have taken over Gajendra. This is just an event which Srila Prabhupada, he always stressed with how to bring that event, which doesn't seem relevant to us, which happened millions and millions of years ago, how to translate it in such a way that we can understand what we have to do, and that this kind of event is exactly like the position in which we are in. We are these Gajendras, bathing happily in the water, beautiful surroundings, in the midst of the most beautiful nature, crystal clear water, not polluted at all. You can drink out of the lake like that. And suddenly, without expecting, the crocodile of Maya attacks. Yes. Hare Krishna. Maybe there is some questions or some adjustments, corrections.
You've mentioned the importance of association. And what does it mean to...
Can you speak a little bit louder, please?
You mentioned...
Oh yes, Mike.
You mentioned the importance of association with advanced devotees and so. But what does it mean to take proper association?
I don't catch it.
What does it mean to take proper association?
Oh, okay. What does it mean to take proper association? Well, we can associate with devotees directly. We can associate with devotees through all these medias. Today we have like these social, we can daily listen to what great souls have to say to this and this verses. We can read. Every word we read in the Srimad Bhagavatam we associate with Srila Prabhupada, which is the best association we can get. He's a pure soul. And he's an inhabitant of Vrindavan. Once he was asked, how can we associate with the inhabitants of Vrindavan? And Prabhupada said, I am an inhabitant of Vrindavan. So that's, yes, how we associate. And the more we associate with great souls, the more these qualities of these great souls come. It's like a bridge. The qualities are walking across the bridge in our consciousness. So, yes, there are many ways to associate. Is that answering or? Anything else? Kantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much.